So give me some hope because I feel like there's real hope because this has got the momentum has built the last few years. I've talked to you about this a bit, Francis. Keanu, you've been out there saying if there's one character I'm going to come back to, it's Constantine. Akiva said there's a script that was done at the end of last year. Where are we at? Is there a script that you guys like? What's happening?
Keanu. Okay, so I will say like I said, very quickly after the release of the movie, we all decided we would love to take another shot at it. We were trying to come up with some ideas, and what we have found over the last 20 years is that we have run into a lot of hurdles, primarily with regime changes at the studio. And that means both Warner Brothers and DC. And because those regime changes have happened, basically the characters, which are sort of a subset of DC, Vertigo, right, the kind of dark universe,
Right.
a lot of those characters, including John Constantine, have kind of bounced around. So, we might be thinking of an idea, and then all of a sudden, like NBC decides to, take a shot at John Constantine and do a network TV show. Um, so there's nothing we can do for a while. And then all the characters go to somebody else and they want to do a show, whether it's for HBO or whatever. And so there's nothing that we can do. So we have constantly kind of come back to try and go and go and go and go and go. And I think really what happened is Keanu going out there, and I think it was Colbert, right? Was it Colbert that, yeah, where they're like, what could you play? And I think this thing sort of spread and finally convinced some people that like have some control, like, hey, you know what? Maybe this isn't a bad thing. I think it's the combination of that and the sort of growing cult following of the original film over the years that have got people thinking like, okay, we can do this, even if it happens to be sort of outside whatever a DC plan is for whatever, the other material, that there's a version of, my Constantine, Akiva's Constantine, Keanu's Constantine together that's outside of that. We have finally gotten to the place where we now have the permission to go down that road. And Akiva is writing, and Keanu and Akiva and I have been collaborating. And I think we have some really, really great ideas that we're super, super excited about. Um, and I think we're pretty close on having an object that is really workable. Um, all I know is that we're really excited, and I haven't been this felt this excited about the object and this excited about how real it could be in the 20 years since we made the first one. So it has real possibility.
What's important to you, Keanu? You've had 20 years to think about coming back to this character. What's most exciting? What's coming up most in your meetings with these guys that you want to see in this character in this story?
Um, just reaffirming just how great it is to collaborate with Francis and Akiva on it. Um, it's just fun to be in the same room and talk Constantine,
Yeah.
and just everyone riffing um, and just what Akiva and Francis have come up with and the ideas. Um, I'm aching to play this guy.
Will we see, is it back in LA? Other returning characters? Can we tease anything?
No, I don't want to tease. I don't want to tease anything. I mean, I would say that like I think there's definitely room for some recurring characters, for sure. I will say what was always important to me, and one of the things that I really loved about the first movie was that the sort of the kind of motors and drive for John Constantine were very personal, right? Like this isn't just a like, oh, guys got to save the world kind of thing. Like we
Right.
had to kind of find a way in to make it a very personal story because John Constantine by nature is actually quite a selfish guy, which is part of what I love about him. Um, so that was kind of key. But yeah, I don't want to tease too much. I think
That's fair.
but
All right.
it's a really fun character to revisit. And there's a great world to sort of dive back into that I think a lot will be familiar. A lot will be different and new and surprising. But it feels sort of, it's definitely in the realm of feeling like worthy of, you know, being the next chapter.